Hi, this is Andrew Van Veld from Circle City Audio. We are talking to you today from Lifebridge Church in Fort Wayne, Indiana, where we have hosted today our loudspeaker line array shootout. This video was shot at the end of the day. We're getting ready to strike everything, so I'll give you a little bit of the overview of what happened today, and then after this there'll be a run through of each of the loudspeaker systems. So you can lose interest whenever you want, but at least you've heard me say this. So we ran the system from our iLive today using 12 aux outs for a microphone and music tracks to be able to compare everything. We could do EQ changes if we needed to, so we could have things be kind of even. It wasn't just, here's this system out of the box compared to this out of the box. It was, how do these match up when they're made to sound similar from an EQ perspective, so then their strengths and weaknesses could be listened to from more of a voicing and application perspective. Some of these were better for the road, better for install. Installation might matter if you have to have a white speaker or not. We talked about all the rigging kind of things, whether things could be portable or they had to be flown or installed. This is the Bose RoomMatch system. We've done a couple other videos online about some of our installations with it. What we've brought here today is a 7010 box over 9020. You may recall from the other videos that Bose is unique in the industry because it varies both horizontal and vertical coverage in a single box. There are 20 boxes that all clip together based on the coverage area you're trying to hit with the room, so you can make precise coverage of the audience area and not necessarily spill stuff all over the extra walls. We also have a double 15. So we ran this as a three-way system, active crossover between the high-mid cabinet stuff and then the subwoofer. Makes a great amount of sound, very clean, just like we experienced in our installs. It's not a portable system, so if you're looking for a production rig, this really isn't going to cut it because it's just not made to handle that way. They come in choices of colors, black and black. It would be a little inappropriate to paint them, although it could be done. But it's a better product if you're happy with black loudspeakers. The RoomMatch is a passive system, so old school from the perspective of separate amplifiers, separate crossover, all that kind of stuff. Loudspeakers only in the air, so loudspeaker cable, no power in the air. You don't have to worry about if your amps blow up, you don't have to drop your speakers to fix it. A lot of people prefer that for an installation. So you may wonder, like, well, why can't I hear the speakers? Well, you're like on the internet, right? And you're like sitting in your computer, or some of you might even have real speakers on your computer, not just the little bitty ones. But there's no way that you're going to be able to tell what these sound like compared to each other, you know, sitting in your jammies. So if you want to hear them, you know, call us. This system is the QSC KLA Array system, self-powered. We have 2 slices on a stick sitting on a sub beside me. We also have 5 up in the air. The convenience, or kind of the outstanding or noteworthy thing about this loudspeaker, is they have a fixed 18-degree vertical coverage. You can use up to 5 boxes in an array to cover 90 degrees vertically. They're a 90-degree horizontal coverage. It's very convenient, very smooth looking install. The hardware is kind of built into the side of the speaker, so you don't have pins and little wires and things hanging out. They are bi-amped internally. They have some switch settings on the back of the speaker that makes it convenient if you're using it portable, whether you have a sub or not. They do have gain controls. The subs have the crossover in them, so it's pretty convenient. There's an 18 powered sub that we have here. There's casters on the back, so if it's portable, it's easy to move around. So QSC KLA, nice system, good for portable, 1 or 2 boxes. Oh, one of the other cool things I should mention is the pole mount socket in the bottom of the speaker can be adjusted for a 9-degree down angle or flat. So if you have just one piece on it, you probably want it straight, or depending on the height of your stage. If you have 2, maybe the 9-degree down like we're showing here, if I can spin it around without making anything fall over, is a pretty smooth little feature. The pole has 3 points of adjustment. You could put them on tripods if you want, but 2 is the max in this format. This product is the Technologies DVA T4, so an internally tri-amped array slice. These are pretty smooth from the size and value perspective. They are 30 pounds a slice, which means you can put a lot of them in a light rig and get pretty good vertical coverage. They're pretty loud. They have decent sound, especially when you put a lot of them together. The mid-range is pretty full-bodied, which is kind of cool. They do have the ability to ground stack on a pole, on a sub, up to 3 high in that configuration. T4 does have external hardware. As we talk about this compared to the QSC ILAs, for example, that has kind of internal hardware, this looks a little more roady. Nice system. We have a powered 18 sub here. They also have a couple smaller ones. There's a double 18 that's a full 30 hertz self-powered box that's pretty spectacular and not crazy expensive. They have fly bars, all the good kind of stuff. These can come in white. We like them. Good for portable, good flexible kind of use. Light duty touring system. Could work for an install. We've tested them out. Good 100 feet solid, plenty loud, sound pretty nice. I'm sure they go farther, but we had a wall. So there's a T12 box that is larger that frame fits with these. So if you had an array system or like a touring rig you were trying to grow, T12's at the top for your long throw, and then T4's underneath for your mid and short throw would be a nice system that you could grow. Would work for an installation as well, of course, but it's kind of nice to have that flexibility. When we talk about the QSC KLA Array, that's a fixed vertical Q box. All the rigging is internal, there's no adjusting, they just fit like they're gonna fit. This lets you pick based on how many boxes and what your throw coverage is, what kind of angles you make. Top of the array is probably flat to push farther, and then steeper angles as you get towards the front of the stage. And this is the Worx Audio X3i. I in this case stands for install. Worx is a pretty high-end manufacturer with some excellent sounding boxes. This X3 is basically 3 array slices in one box, 160 horizontal, 40 vertical coverage. There's an X5 that is the same coverage angle, but it's 2 more slices, so for longer push for your out far seats. So really nice. They do have regular like touring style or conventional array products. They have DSP onboards. You can do a lot of tweaking just with the boxes. I'm standing on the sub. This is a 18. It has really nice box. They're nice sounding and would work a little nicer than some of the external rigging boxes in a house of worship type install. They'll make them in white. They might make them in pink if you needed. They're very good people to work with. Worx Audio X3i. This is the RCF HDL20A, self-powered line array product with dual 10s and horn system. It's a 69-pound box, so a little heavier than some of the other ones we've looked at, but it's a pretty boss system. It throws down loud, pretty clean, very crispy, so it might be too crispy depending on how it's EQ'd. I'm sitting on top a couple of powered 18 subs that are actually from DB Technologies. RCF makes the drivers for a lot of DB products, so they kind of play well together. We had 4 HDL20s in our demo rig for the Shootout, and it really makes a lot of sound. So good for portable use. Comes in black and black, so there might be some limitations on house of worship application, and it is an external rigging product. So it's not as nasty as some of them from an aesthetic perspective, but it is a hardware piece. You can adjust the displays of them to match your coverage angle vertically. The horizontal is 100 degrees, that's static, and that's the RCF HDL20A. This is not a line array product, but as a reference piece, we brought one of our really nice Bose LT trap cabinets along. The LT really pounds. It is as brilliant in here, I think, as any of the other systems. A couple of the line array products will play louder, but this could rip your head clean off if you want to. We've used these. This is one of our production boxes. We've used it outside at concerts, and you have high frequency fidelity easily at 300 feet. Really a nice box. So it was a good reference speaker, and we like them a lot. Thanks again for watching our video today, and thanks a lot to LifeBridge Church in Fort Wayne, Indiana for letting us invade your space for a couple of days. Thanks to the people that came through and listened and talked and learned some stuff. Just a reminder, Circle City Audio, based in Indianapolis. We have offices here in Fort Wayne as well. We're happy to come out and demo things and learn about your room and your situation. We do loudspeaker systems, lighting, all the sound components, projection, camera systems, acoustics training, certain repair kind of things, a lot of installations. We do productions, we have lighting systems, we do your Christmas show, your Easter show. And be your best friend, because that's what we're about. Well, not really. We're about going over the top and making things loud and proud, but we don't mind being your friend too. Really had fun today. Some people came in and were kind of surprised. One of the noteworthy ones was a gentleman from one of the churches who had kind of picked out his speaker system based on catalog, but had never heard it. So it was a good time. It happened to be one of the ones we have here today. And in certain situation, he liked how it sounded. And compared to another speaker at a certain distance perspective, it didn't stand up. So it was good for him to get a sense of how things work together. So we're thankful on their behalf that we happen to have the speaker system that they were looking at. So we had a lot of fun, a lot of work. We used a lot of electricity today. We burned a few eardrums a little bit. All the equipment worked pretty well. A couple of little things. We did blow up one array slice today. Somehow, we weren't pushing it at the time, but it just kind of fuzzed out. Thankfully, it was the bottom one on an array. So we were able to just turn it down slightly and move on. So thanks for watching. Okay, so you really want me to tell you who won, right? Well, I know that the reps, the factory guys like John, Dave, Todd, and Jeff would all say, well, mine won, because mine's the best. And you know, that they could all be right. But in our sense, the real winner is the one that's right for your room.